It's going to come down to an Elder flip. That's something we know for sure. I cannot fathom it not being that, you know? Just how it's gone. So today has been a day. Today has been it has been a journey, right? It has been a journey, and sadly, this is the last game that's going to come to an end.
Yeah.
But what are we going to see in this game? You know, game 3 of Fearless, things, they're not full wackiness as we saw in like game 5s, but they do start to get a little bit wackier. A lot of picks taken away. Some of them we're sorry to see go. Some of them we're very happy to see go.
Yeah.
To be honest, we haven't had any picks so far, I think, that I'm really like, I wasn't feeling this. Maybe some performances lacking a bit. But it's been, I don't think either team has drafted too horribly. I've had my concerns at times, you know, about some of the drafts, some limitations I feel like they had. But I'm going to be real, Brendan. I just don't think it matters. I just don't think it matters.
Yeah.
You know what? Do you know what champion would be so good right now? Nunu.
Malphite?
Nunu, because you can secure Elder very well.
Aha.
Cho'Gath, maybe. Maybe that should be the game plan. Maybe that's what they should be strategizing towards, right? You know, DPLUS played some Cho'Gath. Maybe they pick up that so you can just gobble the Elder. Because we all know how it's going to go down, Brendan. It's going to go to an Elder flip. There's no other way for this series to end. You can't tell me we have 2 games going to Elder and then we're just going to have like a normal blowout in 20 minutes. No, I refuse to accept this reality.
I mean, if anyone's going to do that, it's going to be DRX. So, sorry for you DK fans. Neferi's left up. So, I think they just take it here. They've been banning it from red side 2 games in a row against Sponge.
Yep, Lucid does have that dog in him.
And he will use the hot dog skin, which I'm happy about.
Has anyone not used the hot dog skin? Didn't one person not?
Yeah.
It does give over the Rumble, though, on the other side. And they're going to go Rumble Ahri, so a strong mid-jungle. And you can pick Wukong to pair with this. Rumble, Wukong, Ahri is a very strong top side of the map for DRX. Got to see what DPLUS will answer with. Ryze is already gone. Talia's gone. Azir's gone. Ahri's gone. You could go Silas into this.
It's banned.
Oh, yeah, true, you're right. A lot of things off the cards here.
You could play mid Cho'Gath into this.
It's so true, actually. Varus comes through. And then the Alistar, before it normally gets banned out. Normally it's blue side, so this frees up that ban because normally you're banning on blue side, so red side don't get it. But a heavy commit that leaves the solo lanes to later. I think the thought process is, look, we're not getting tier 1 picks. We're struggling even to get some of the tier 2 picks. Let's just, if you've got something up your sleeve, leave it till the next rotation of bans. At this point, with this many mids off the table, you kind of throw bans into the wind, right?
Syndra. Like, what are we thinking for Showmaker? Because, yeah, Wukong was very obvious.
Not too much of a surprise. So, Victor's a possibility, but he's pretty immobile into this team. I feel like for other players, I would think Galio would be a good fit here. I'm not sure if we're going to see Showmaker bring that out, though. I don't know. It's getting a little bit into crazy territory. Jhin ban comes out, so want to secure the presence as being that long-range AD carry who wins lane. You could also ban Ashe in this situation if you really wanted to. Maybe you're concerned about a Zeri with this comp, though. Yeah, Zeri with this comp would be devious.
So Victor is banned.
Rakan with Wukong is really strong and kind of breaks the pairing of Zyrakan that could come through.
Yeah.
I think you could just go Zeri in this situation, though.
Zeri seems fine. Or Ashe.
Oh, yes.
Corki?
Not a Corki. Not a Corki game. The only thing is the lane is rough. That's the only concern here.
Corki?
I'm not feeling the Corki.
Not the Corki. Gragas. Yeah, Gragas.
Gragas AD carry?
That's what I was... Yeah, that's what I want to see.
No, we're cooking. Into the Alistar, it's a good matchup. So they want to go with that and see a bit more of the composition before they commit in the AD carry. Really powerful team fighting. And as much as Rakan pairs really well with the Wukong, the Gragas also does, because when he knocks up, sets up the easy ult to throw on top. Looking at mid lane picks, I think the Galio is really good here.
Yeah.
Great defensively to ult, good CC, you can just channel the taunt when everyone's in the mixer. Wasn't certain if we'd see Showmaker play it, but they do bring it out.
Asante mid. Camille mid. Camille mid or Galio mid.
Yeah,
probably Galio mid and Camille top.
I think that makes the most sense. I mean, this is a lot of power. Camille does have Cho'Gath Q on her Cho'Gath ult on her Q.
Close enough.
Close enough, you know. Zaya's going to come out, so going for a bit more of a defensive pick, concerned about that Camille Galio, which I think shows the value of the Gragas, and then leaving the AD carry to last. Given they already saw the
compared Lazy Field to a capybara, a very cute animal. So it's Showmaker's Galio, along with the Nefiri for Lucid. That was the first pick. I think he's got a lot of work to do in this one. Whereas the top side of the map feels great. The Gragas as well for the side of DRX feels pretty good here in this draft of number 3. Let's jump onto the rift.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
Okay, so Brendan, as the game starts, I got a little trivia question for you. So
Fox is fact of the game.
Yeah, you know the Hall of Fame Ari skin?
Yes.
So far in this LCK season, actually, I don't know if this LCK season, so far...
Everyone except Faker. I also saw that tweet.
Thanks for ruining it!
Yeah.
You could have at least let me finish the question so the fans could guess if they didn't know.
Sorry. Sorry, fans. Barrel flash there for... I mean, there could have been people coming from the left side because they didn't have that covered.
Barrel flashed. He did unlock Hex Flash, so that's something. You ruined my little bit, so thank you.
No problem.
Well, I don't know what to say now because I was kind of banking on that carrying us through the early game.
Well, you can still say it.
No.
People just know the answer now.
No. No.
So everybody except Faker has used the Hall of Fame skin.
And the LVLCK mid off of Faker, yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that a cool fact? That would have been really cool if you hadn't spoiled it.
Yeah. But it's okay. We got a game 3.
Yeah.
And game 3 in this series, maybe it's just DK dropping the ball and DRX win.
It is the poke virus. And typically you expect them to have pressure in this lane, but they've been bullied out pretty hard. Barrel, lack of flash, and also the Gragas just kind of belly booping him repeatedly.
Yeah. We had boot buyers, and now we have belly boopers.
Aiming 0-3 on Varus. What does it mean?
I mean, they are 5 and 7, so they're not a winning team at the moment. So some picks could be a little bit lower in terms of win rate.
Yep.
Also, it's not really the first champ you think of when you think about aiming. He's always been more of a guy who plays shifty stuff. Varus, 5-game losing streak.
There is something to be said. A lot of the teams who you see who got access to Varus are on the lower side of the table, you know? But I still think Varus is a strong pick, but I just think teams don't really let Gen.G or HLE or T1 get Varus. And those teams do a lot of winning.
Yeah. I mean, the AD carries for all 3 of those teams are excellent, so I would assume that's probably a bad idea. I think aiming is also excellent as an AD carry player. I'm just not so sure about his Varus in particular.
You know, historically, I feel like aiming struggled a bit on immobile picks, but, you know, in the past year or two, like, his MF has been really solid, and that is an immobile pick, so has kind of picked up on it. You see junglers spot each other. But recall comes in from Showmaker. He is TPing back in.
The fight over the Scuttle Crab. There is a second Scuttle Crab, which Lucid will go take now.
Very quick TP, considering he's just picking up a null magic and a control ward. Like, he wasn't even that low in health and stuff. He could have stayed around.
Yeah.
But opted in there, take the opportunity to do so, have some pressure. Sponge looking for Lucid now. It is a 3v1 if you include the little hot dogs.
Yeah, it's not exactly fair.
Oh. Well, he can't just do that.
Well, that's not fair either.
Yeah. Just smash those hot dogs.
You just ate them. Looks like it does go the way of Sponge, and now, oh, the belly boop. Get out of here. And now Showmaker's going in, and he is quite tanky, but the follow-up finally does come down. First blood does go to the Gragas, but immediately Lucid going to pick up a kill.
And they'll just have flash.
Yeah. Just waiting to hold it. And there it is. Oh! Okay, he's fine.
Oh my god, look at the hot dog dying animation. It's so brutal. I've never felt such empathy for a hot dog.
They are pretty cute hot dogs, yeah.
Yeah. But a bit of a chaotic one. Does end up just being a 1-for-1, but a lot of summoners committed. I mean, I say that. There's 2 flashes from the side of DPLUS.
That's a lot for
DRX.
4 minutes into the game.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking it was a lot. And now we're seeing the Poke Virus getting a bit more mileage into the Xayah. Not a fun matchup to be playing Xayah into.
You know, Xayah's not really good into Ziggs, but also not very good into Poke Varus.
Yeah, longer range champions who can poke you, not fun to play into. And so Andal gets humongous value from, speaking of something, I'm looking at what is happening in the bottom. There's fighting going on. Anyway,
Belly boop.
The belly boop value is massive. The reason we're seeing the Gragas picked into the Alistar, Showmaker kind of gets melted, but they managed to take out the Wukong pretty quickly as well, and then Andal just runs it off. They are non-stop fighting, of course. Why wouldn't they be?
Still feathers on the ground, so Barrel is just waiting for those.
Laserfield is very low on mana though. Kind of needs a reset to come out here.
Yeah. So he'll get it, I think. Yeah, he's hitting these. Say he's gonna back.
This is how I wanted the game to be, you know, not this sort of, oh, play timidly because we're in game 3. I want it to be just fist fighting, you know? 30 kills by 20 minutes. That's the dream. That's peak League of Legends right there.
Yeah, I mean, game 2 was kind of slow to start, and then it really picked up in the mid-game. We got a little engage on Andal. Do they have the damage is really the question. Aiming doesn't really have the mana.
He has the body slam still. I think he's okay.
Yeah. So, just
walk it off.
Yeah, just walk on a straight line. And just wait for that to come through. It feels like DK, they drafted something that's relatively straightforward, which I like, you know. You got Camille going in, Galio jumps on that. Or you've got Alistar going in, Galio jumps on that. And then you've got 2 solid damage dealers, and Galio does a bit of AP on the side. You know, it kind of plays itself.
Oh, speaking of which.
Yeah, here we go. There it is, the Camille and the Galio. Rich not really able to do anything. He is going to flash, though, and the damage is still there. The follow flash comes through from Shiwu, and that is another kill over to DK.
Honestly, it feels so bad for Rich that you flashed and still end up dying. And yes, it's a trade of flashes, but that play is going to happen again when those cooldowns are up and available, and Rich's flash won't be there. So just great use. This is why you play this combination. This is why whenever you see a Galio, you can somewhat expect a Camille might come through, or vice versa, because the combination is so low counterplay. And you know what? I feel like what really damaged this combination was Stopwatch. When Stopwatch was a thing,
yeah, oh god,
it really shut down the ability to make these plays, because you commit this undodgeable CC combo, and someone stopwatches, you're like, well, that sucks. But the thing that Stopwatch is no longer a thing, it makes it a lot easier to do it. Obviously, Seeker's Arm Guard will eventually be a thing, right? Rich will have that, Yukol will have that, Laserfield has his ult. It's not like in this game, the Galio Camille is just unstoppable, there's no counterplay. There's a good amount of champions who eventually will have access to it. That always depends on, like, do you have the gold for it? Because you kind of need your core items before you get a Seeker's Arm Guard, and then Seeker's Arm Guard only works once, and you have to upgrade it.
Yeah.
And like if you're behind on gold, you might just be getting ulted on cooldown. So we'll see how it goes. But this game definitely feels like one that could be snowbally. I say that, but it probably is going to be an elder flip. But it's fun to think about it not being.
Yeah, we can just pretend for a little bit, you know.
Pretend that like early game actions have consequences.
Yeah.
And we're not just gonna bigger flip the beard.
While we're engaging here on aiming, the flash is avoided, and aiming gets out of the charm, but it's not really going to matter. The damage is still there. TP does come in. Aiming still incredibly low, and they're chasing Sponge down on the bottom side. The turnaround is there for DK. A Showmaker just keeping up with you, Cal.
Dead.
Waiting for his cooldowns. And eventually, with the taunt coming in, and a couple more hits.
And cooldown anything.
An Infuriate ability.
I think.
And yeah, that should be enough. There you go. They finally did it. And DK got 4 kills in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of value picked up from this Galio. Showmaker doing so much to close disruption out of the tower. You see the replay off it, so they're going for this play, but you can see on the map, the Fury closing in, TP comes in for the Galio. And aiming splash is great, because he initially doesn't die, survives a lot of time, and you start seeing that the tower aggro is ramped up. Lucid is there for the cleanup, Like, Showmaker's job is disrupt under the tower, and Lucid's just cleaning up the kills. Then we have this situation where Showmaker's chasing him down, but Lucid is there once again for the cleanup.
Yeah, getting the scraps, you know? Get it? Because it's Nefiri.
Sorry, you'll have to explain that one to me.
Yeah, so like the dog eats the scraps from like the table, right?
He's actually a hot dog.
Yeah, so Beryl might just be dead, which I suppose he will enjoy. Yeah, the Q comes down and Yukal just gets a kill. Meanwhile,
You know, I think sometimes for other players I wonder what he was doing there, but for Beryl I just let him be.
yeah,
This is how it is.
it just felt like he had a reason to be there, a personal reason.
Look, I'm gonna say something, and I don't want to be harsh, Brendan, but he's a 2-time world champion for a reason, so I just learn not to question.
Yeah. I mean, he has world championships, and we don't, so he must know.
He's a Noah.
He is a knower. He is the LoL master for a reason. He's trying to, you know, set up the dominoes in a very specific way. It's like the butterfly effect, you know?
Yes. It's like everything everywhere all at once. You seen that?
I haven't. I meant to watch it, but...
Oh, well, if I... Now I can't make the reference because I'll spoil it for you, and it's...
Yeah, no spoilers.
Well, if anyone who's seen the film, they'll know what I'm talking about. And if anyone hasn't seen the film, you should probably go see it, otherwise you'll be a Brendan.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many films. I do watch some, but
Yeah.
only the ones that you guys don't reference.
Nice.
That's why I never get the references.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
Is it Chemtech in this one, you think?
I'm gonna go with a hard no.
Okay.
It is...
I called the last one, so
So it's my turn.
it's up to you, yeah.
Didn't you get it wrong last time?
No, I got it right. It was Cloud. Well, I said it was Infernal or Cloud, so it's kind of cheating.
Well, you know what? I think it's probably gonna be Ocean or Cloud or Infernal.
No. You only get two.
Chemtech. Oh, I get two. Oh, that's only half the pool.
Yeah. It's a 50-50 chance. You get it right or you don't.
Just like the Elder Flips.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a Infernal or Cloud. Infernal or Cloud. That's what I'm
Okay.
feeling.
Yeah, I would agree. I think probably Infernal.
What do you mean you would agree? Based on what? What do you mean probably Infernal?
Just feeling.
Yeah, just vibes.
It's the way I'm feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Infernal or Chemtech, though. It's
Why?
kind of the way I'm feeling.
Why?
We've had a lot of Chemtech Soul, and we didn't have it in the last game, so... I think now it's time, you know.
Okay, Brendan, I gotta ask you a serious question, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's say you flip a coin 1,000 times and it's heads 1,000 times, right?
Yeah.
When you flip the coin one more time, what is the chance that's gonna be heads?
Well, it's definitely tails because it's due.
This is explaining a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's either that or it's 50-50 because it's either yes or no. In this case, it's either heads or tails.
It either happens or it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the chance of a team winning Worlds? 50-50. Either happens
Yeah.
or it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know? Glad we just. You know what?
We're solving probability
People
here
go to
live.
university to learn about advanced statistics. They can just choose
Yeah, no.
the LCK, right?
You don't need to take those actuarial exams. Just, you know, just watch the LCK.
Yeah,
We know what we're talking about.
We get it.
Yeah. And nothing's happening. The Drake spawned and both teams were like, you know what? Nah.
They're just really tense about getting the prediction wrong, you know?
Yeah.
She was getting a little bit cooked there. Does kind of need to recall if he wants to TP into this fight.
Actually cooked. Now they engage on a Lucid who doesn't have cooldowns, but he's got a Galio, and he goes untargetable, but the damage comes through, and he's the main target, or rather the main carry, and now he's out of the fight. It's LazyFeel. Just Beryl trying to get a kill on Ondel. It's not going to happen. Meanwhile, LazyFeel and Yukal trying to land this here on a Galio. There it is with the charm, and that's another kill over to Yukal. DRX in a good spot.
Think about this, right? Rich just completely cooked Chiu in the top lane, so she was not going to be able to TP, right? Yeah? You follow?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know Chiu can't TP. Why are you still trying to fight this? Oh, now he's TPing. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Rich is probably... Is he dead? He's got flash.
It was Ocean! Neither of us were right. Rich is, yeah, he's dead. So, But
Well, the chance
UCal's
of
up
being-
here getting the turret.
The chance of being right was 50-50, so, you know.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you were right last time, so how could we be right this time if you were right
true.
last time?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we had to balance it out.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works.
So, again, you know that your Camille's not going to be coming. So why are you still here? This is not a position where it's like, oh, we should try and leave, maybe. This is like, oh, we're down a fight, and then Rumble just comes in. I mean, the fight was already going a little rough, but, like, you had no insurance policy. Like, it was never going to work out, and they just end up dying. I mean, I think the setup was bad initially, but, like, I don't know. It just feels like even if you started to win the fight, the Rumble turns up and just cooks you all.
Yeah.
So maybe just don't be there. Just back away. Is my suggestion.
It's a good suggestion, but I think that Lucid just feeling very strong, 3-0. He's Nefiri. He's very swift.
Hey, he didn't die. He's blame on his teammates.
And he's got Showmaker right there. So they're like, oh, maybe you can just poke in and, you know, get some vision. And, well, he does, but it baits them into a really rough fight.
Also, aiming built up stacks on Lazyfield, and then Lazyfield ulted when he went to Q him. So,
yeah.
you know, what are you going to do?
No damage.
Correct. That is
That's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
No problem. Andal just ran around looking for something to belly boot.
Oh, they are setting up a potential dive here on a Rich.
UCal is just consistently hanging out in top lane. Equalizer clears the wave.
They do have Herald, so...
Yeah. Should be just turret for turret. Looks like. UCal did it alone. DK had to use Rift Herald and a lot of their team.
Yeah, it was first turret for the side of DRX, so they have that contribution to the feats of strength. Next objective will decide it. Oh, the knockup. Where are you going with that, is my question.
He's just trying to live.
He's just rotating.
Yeah. And now, yeah, probably...
This is a much harder escort mission, I'm just going to say it.
I don't think they should accept this quest.
You should restart the mission, you've already failed.
They're not high enough level for this one.
Yeah. Oh? He can't just go over the wall.
Whoa. He really tricked them.
That was some insane mechanics to press E over
Yeah.
the wall.
I don't know if I could have managed that.
I think I could have.
Probably, yeah. You probably have more games of Gragas than I do.
Maybe. Maybe.
I mean, I've only played it like 4 or 5 times. Maybe a bit more in the past. Used to play mid Gragas, you know, when that was OP.
Man, there's so many old... Remember when like it was just Gragas Ziggs meta because they both had infinite wave clear?
Yeah.
And this, by the way, for anyone listening, this was before Baron buffed minions. Like, it just gave the stats and gold and XP, so like, it didn't help you end the game. So games would go really long and no one could end.
So this time, I don't think the belly boop is going to help very much. Andal doesn't even bother to flash. He just got hit by CC, and that was the end of him.
Yep. Not much you can do about that situation. And just a good pick coming out from DPLUS. And they have a comp which really can flourish in finding these picks. So I think they should just keep doing this.
Yeah. And I like when they're getting proactive. Ooh, nice dodge there. Well, not really dodged by the hot dog, but at least able to get in front of it and deny the charm from hitting. So, you know, they were thinking about going actually top and making a play, but not meant to be. Does not happen. But yeah, I do like how DK are looking around and trying to be proactive and trying to utilize Galio Camille before they have to deal with all these stopwatches. These arm guards.
That's the thing, if the game goes late and it's just even, it is going to feel so painful when you commit that combo and they just go into stasis. Or in Lazyfield's position, press ult. And now, setting up for this dragon again, 20 seconds away. It's one dragon apiece. This will mean feats of strength, whoever secures it, so a little bit more weight than you typically expect just for a second dragon for either side. And you see the reset coming in from UCal. Rich is waiting to TP. Apparently not, he's just walking out now.
Yeah.
Seeker's arm guard on Rich is a big spike. Don't have one for UCal though. He did finish that Leandries.
Yeah, he's got 2 items, and I think he's in a really good spot. He got very fed by Barrel first, and then he got the kill on a Showmaker later. So this is a very strong Ahri who actually deals real damage.
I actually think he would be a great focus target. The one thing is, so the Gragas can counteract the Camille by ulting the Camille out of the Herald to freeze it. But Shu needs to make sure that he's in position to teleport here.
They could look for Lazy Feel now. Trade of ults between aiming and Lazy Feel, so...
It's a good trade for DPLUS.
Yeah. Lucy can always do this as long as he doesn't go too far. They just take trades and essentially just threaten to go untargetable or just dash away. And they get Banana Brush control for it, especially with the angle that Showmaker took. And now we got a Camille coming in from the top side.
You can't really dive here, but you can threaten. With the tier 1 up mid, it just makes it hard to put more pressure on. Remember, Atakan is up, so if a team hard wins this team fight, they can just rotate over to it. We get the TP coming in now from Rich. Beryl just reset to pick up Locket, so they want to stall this out if possible. Now, looks like they might end up giving it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one Ocean Drake after all. Lucid has other ideas as he goes untargetable, has to flash over the wall. Meanwhile, Ondil getting very low, flash in from aiming just to try to kill a Gragas, but now they've got the combo. They find Lazy Field, but the knockup doesn't get him, but he's still trapped. And no, he's going to live actually for a little bit. And then he goes down as Rich is in a bit of trouble, and the chains are going to hit Sponge actually, who gives up his life for his top laner. And DK are able to convert this into a very nice fight. Combo in onto Yukal, and Beryl will just take the kill and even survive here up against Rich. So DK, another kill on the board.
Good amount of kills for DPLUS. They do lose out on the feats of strength. They do lose out on the dragon. But they managed to clean up some of those kills on the back end. And Showmaker will make an impact top as well, picking up this tower. So overall, I think DPLUS happy with the outcome. One dragon not really worth all of that.
Well, there's the turret. Goes down. And we'll take a look at this replay.
So initially they found a lot of damage onto Ondil here. And aiming ends up trying to chase him down. Tries to finish him off here. Still has the shield from the Locket. But then the call is, we're going to commit to this fight. We're going to find this. Great engage on the Lazy Field. Flashes, but gets followed with it. Galio ult ends up getting a lot of value as well. Lucid dives in and just kind of gets caught in the blender. Not ideal. Not able to get the reset on that ult. But then in the cleanup here, Rich flashes out. Doesn't think he can find more. And the chase down comes through. Beryl committing his flash to finish up his kill. Unfortunately, he doesn't give the kill over to the Gold King. But is able to at least get it himself and get out. And I want to make something clear. If you take track of the summoner spells, only Sponge still has flash. Everyone else burned their flashes in that scenario. So
yeah,
this is a very volatile moment of the game to be in.
Well, this has been the way that it's been the entire day. Volatile game states. Very much feels like either team could win. Yes, DK are in the lead, and they're going to start at the Otacon, which...
Why wouldn't they?
...has been an issue, but there's no vision. And DRX are not in position, but the damage is pretty slow. Showmaker trying to... Okay, they're trying to just push Sponge away, but the damage isn't there. Like, they're not hitting the Otacon enough. So, not going for a flip. Very strange from DK. Known flippers.
They really wanted to. You could tell.
Known flippers in the LCK don't flip? Suspicious.
Maybe that coach was screaming so loud they could hear it through the booth and through the headsets. No, because I think we'd have hit it too.
Yeah.
But maybe his voice is in their heads, reminding them. So
it
just
exists
start
only in their minds.
And stop. That comes through. Nothing too crazy yet. But keeping DRX on their toes. And it's DPLUS, you know they will do that. They will just decide to flip an objective. Because why not?
Yeah. No reason not to. I mean, either you win in flashy fashion or you lose in flashy fashion. I'm pretty happy about either.
Yeah.
And they've lost 6 in a row. What's another?
7.
Oh. Yeah, 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
That does add up, yeah. So, again, just kind of waiting for the next objective. It feels like DK were looking for angles, and now they're just not really.
Yeah, and DPLUS do have a gold lead. Not super significant now. It is 3 items for aiming, though. that have come through. Some big spikes. We have the Seeker's Arm Guard for Showmaker, a lot of value there. Obviously, Rich broke his earlier, so trying to afford the Zhonyas. No Seekers for Yukal yet. Rich is doing a good amount of damage. Shiwu scares him away. But you know, Baron and Atacana are up. And I think that makes it really difficult for teams, because it's like...
we're just ulting in on a Rich. This is going very deep for the Rumble.
Well, they got the tower.
Yeah. Zoning ult from Lucid.
Lucid's pretty low now, though. And now DRX in a difficult position. Do we want to flip Baron or do we want to flip Atakan? Looks like it's Atakan.
Flip Atakan, yeah. You know, we chunked out the jungler. We can do Atakan.
I mean,
is what they say.
Pretty far.
And they're doing a lot of damage. And Chain's gonna hit onto Yukal. He's in a lot of trouble. And they just look for that mid laner. And now it's a flip. Guess what? We're flipping objectives again. And it goes the way of DK this time. As the 50-50 goes to Lucid. And now they still have the combo. The ult saves him for just a second. And now Rich is like, well, I lost my team. I guess I'll just walk towards DK and hope to join them. Sponge.
He's trying to join the jungle camps, I guess.
He's like, those wolves are pretty strong. I should try to join them.
Look, as we talked about earlier, we gave it a little bit of a lesson on statistics. I don't know if you remember last game, but the last objective that was a flip, it was actually Sponge who won the smite. So it was now Lucid's turn to win the smite.
Yeah.
We go back and forth like this. Smite comes in, it's secured. You get that nice boost of XP and stats. But the fight was already pretty doomed. The fact that we saw Yukal got caught out in this situation, I don't think there was any real way to recover from this.
And they didn't have to flip the Otacon.
Didn't they?
No.
Didn't they?
Like, we've seen it so much today, but like on a serious note, we don't have to be just, like flipping objectives for no reason. They're like, oh, we chunked out Lucid. Well, he was still more than half health and he's a jungler. Like, he's Nefiri, he can ult in. You're not gonna stop him from getting into the pit. Look, they had no vision control.
Brandon, there's a lot of things we don't have to do, but they would like to do those things, okay?
Yeah.
They wanted to flip Atacon.
Clearly, yeah, as we saw.
It's exciting, right?
It was.
Doesn't it get your blood pumping when you're like, hey, we could just throw the game right now if this goes wrong?
They are not very risk averse.
You know why they do that? Because they could have gotten the win. They could have flipped the right way.
Even if they got Otacon, there's no guarantee they win. Lazyfield.
Doesn't that make it exciting?
It was very exciting. There wasn't a lot of action before that. But now there's a lot of action in favor of DK. So that's what they went for. Yukal gonna get ulted here. Sponge barely surviving, but Yukal not for very long. And he goes down too to aiming to sniping him. And now you're not getting away from this composition. Lucid looking to take out Lazyfield. Actually gonna lose the fight.
Showmaker, he's got this, land the Q.
Oh,
that's cheating,
flashing.
that's cheating.
Yeah, actually cheating.
You have to throw the Q.
Yep.
I'm not gonna allow that one.
Either way, I think the game is just over. Just like that. One Otacon flip into Baron into game. DK win. That's the story of this one, guys. And Andil find a little bit of time. But yeah, he's dead.
I have to pick a POM.
Good luck with that. So yeah, DK, the favored team, they win tonight. That's what we can take away from this one. The 2-1 victory.